So, the first night here, while I was in my tent, I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I heard some kind of loud crash knock sound. It was really loud. I've heard it a couple of other times since I've been here, and I think just about everybody else has heard it too. It doesn't quite have the boom of a gunshot or the crack of a tree knock. I'm not really sure what it was. Um, then I've heard the distant screams. I heard, I think about three or four last night, um, just sitting here, and then I've heard a couple of distant knocks, and then earlier today I heard something really weird. I heard I had turned around and had my back to the wood line and thought I heard just a really short whisper, like I don't know, it was really creepy. But I think that sums up just about everything I heard. I don't think I've left anything out. The weird, loud boom, the screams, the knocks, and the whispers.
I've gone Bigfoot hunting before, and it was pretty quiet. We didn't hear very much. So when I was coming out to Stevens County, I was a little skeptical when Will and his buddy were like, "Dude, we were hearing screams last night, and it was all night long." And I was, "What are you guys talking about? Like, what kind of screams? What were you hearing?" And so the second night we were out here, I heard for myself this scream, and it wasn't a bird call. It wasn't a deep growl of a bear, but it was something off in the distance that was really given a real vocalization, and it was something I never heard before, and so that was really interesting, and it really backed up what Will and his buddy was saying. So that was fun, and then right after the next day, we were seeing some weird tracks that we just can't explain, and some many tree knocks. I mean, the knocking has not like 10 an hour or anything, but a few a day that we're hearing, and it's just really interesting to be able to hear so much activity in the woods when this whole campground is empty. So cool.
I concur about the wood knocks. I hear about them. I've experienced them a couple of times, and all the times I've been doing this, and I've seen and heard things that I haven't other places. The wood knocks, like you said, Josiah, we've gotten several a day. And last night, I remember we were sitting over in Will and Adrian's camp, and it was just this huge boom sound, and we're like, could that be a gun? It really didn't sound like a gunshot. We're right near a lake, so it really did sound like a power knock that was echoing across the lake. Not sure, but that's what it sounded like. Last night also was when we heard the screams that you guys have been talking about, and what I remember hearing were four screams, like in a steady succession, and then there was a break and four more. And that's all I can say is that they sounded like screams. From what I'm not sure, it didn't sound like a fox, didn't sound like any kind of an animal that I'm familiar with. This morning, I woke up and I heard right away what I can only say sounded like a roar. And the first thing that I thought about, I know it sounds crazy, was either a T-Rex or a lion or something roaring. It was in the distance, but not like super distant, and it was just very powerful roar sound. I lay there for about a minute, I'd say, and waited to hear if I heard it again. And then I took a screenshot of my phone so that I knew right when it happened. So maybe Will can check his audio. And I know that it was right around that same time that Stephen woke up as well. So we're wondering if maybe it woke him up.
Okay, well, since I've been out here, I have heard more activity that is unexplained out in the woods around us than anywhere that I've ever been. But one of the most significant things is up until now, I was always kind of skeptical about tree knocking until being here. Because, you'll hear some things, maybe it's a crash, or, you'll hear some noise and it may sound like wood hitting wood. But in the 3 days that I've been out here, I've heard it consistently at certain times, day after day, which to me, it sounds exactly what a tree knock would be. I mean, it's something beaten on a tree. And we've heard that periodically since the time that we've been out here. And then the other thing is that the odd vocalizations that we have heard, the screams in particular, which are actually very kind of disturbing. And but the particular thing about those is you can tell. I mean, you can easily identify that it is not something. It's not a bird. It's not a dog. You know what I'm saying? It is something that is unidentified. But the sound is definitely not an animal that you would, mimicking something that's out here. And then on top of that, we found more physical evidence than I think that we've ever seen. Now, it's not conclusive by any stretch of the imagination. However, it's very intriguing and very interesting when you look at it, because you can't say particularly that is, a bear or not, but there's a big consistency. And then you take in account the imprints, which we followed up the hill the other day, in Beans's imprint, which we've cast, which we're very excited to pick up tomorrow. It's very intriguing. I'd really like to come back out here. My opinion on, finishing up this expedition that we've done up here is that there is something out here in this area. There's something in these woods that's doing this. It's not human. And that's my thoughts.
Cool.
And that is my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because there is something out here.
There's something going on up here, man.